Welcome back to Coffee with the Authors, where our goal is to help you decode the craft and business of writing. In this episode, we're going to talk about scammers, because with the explosion of the internet, there's also been an explosion of people out there trying to take advantage of the writer's dream.
Starting with maybe the more benign end of it and working up towards the more nefarious end of it. There are a lot of companies out there calling themselves hybrid publishers that some of them are legit. Some of them are just very expensive vanity presses. If you're using hybrid publishing and you go into it realizing I am going to pay these people, they are going to basically produce and or print my book for me, and I'm happy to, and edit and graphic design and cover and everything. And you're happy to pay for that going in, that's fine. But some of these will actually try to kind of feed the dream, and they make promises about they will publicize your book and they will distribute your book, and they talk about getting it to bookstores and sometimes even schools and libraries, and it'll be available on websites and they'll market it to everybody. And in reality, for a lot of these companies, I don't want to kind of paint them all with the same brush, but for a whole bunch of these companies, the end result isn't really as described. Just listening to a whole bunch of writers online talking about their experience with these, they pay sometimes tens of thousands of dollars to basically end up with some kind of poorly designed hard copies of their book and then an ebook that's available on one small website that nobody really goes to. So really, really, really do your homework before you invest a lot of money in these.
And it could start out as being, this is our basic fee, but then, you're going to have to pay X thousands to have them edit it. And then, you're going to have to contribute a little more to have them do something else. And pretty soon you're climbing up $10,000, $20,000 is not uncommon.
Absolutely. So, and also be aware that there are legitimate people online that will help you kind of produce your own book. So you can hire standalone, freelance copy editors, and you can hire freelance artists to do your cover, and you can even hire people to help you format, the actual software, make your book look the way you want it to look, and all those things, and then you get it up and running and you get it launched up on KDP or wherever. You can do most of this yourself and kind of be the general contractor and farm out the specialization to people who they will do X for a fixed price of so many $100, and you know what you're getting for going into it, as opposed to these kind of open-ended things like she just talked about, where people get into this stuff for really, it's the cost of a new car just to kind of have a few copies of the books out there on the internet somewhere.
Along with the promise of distribution and all that kind of stuff, which they really can't fulfill. There's also kind of a growing scam of people saying that they are agents, that they will contact you about your self-published book, and they will say that they think that your book has big five potential. In other words, that they can place it at one of the major publishing houses. The trouble is, then they'll want you to pay a certain amount for their editing expertise. And, they have other things that they need you to help out with financially. And pretty soon you're into it for way more than you expected to be from their initial contact with you and all the big dream promises that they were putting forth.
Yeah, and there's a real easy litmus test for agents, which is a real agent will never take a penny from an author. Period. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. If they want money, they're not a real agent. Real agents, they get paid when you get paid by getting a percentage of your profits. So your success is tied to theirs, and they have a vested interest in your success. These other people, they don't care if your book never sells a copy. They just want you to, they're selling you the dream. It's like, we could get you this contract for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're going to have to put in, a smaller amount just to kind of get it ready for submission.
And I think it's an incremental thing. They're not going to come at you and say, you're going to have to give us X amount of dollars. They're going to say, we need you to contribute this amount. So the minute someone starts asking you for money, take a step back, reassess, do a search online to see what people are saying about this particular company, and, investigate.
Okay, and there's a new twist on this, and I've seen this. I've had friends of mine been contacted with this, which is an agent, but it's kind of a film agent,
Oh, gosh.
film agent. will contact you and kind of say, we think your book, we could market your book to big studios. They're looking for this to make a movie out of, and it could be $1 million in your pocket, and we just need a certain amount of money basically to represent you, and they need to build a pitch deck, and they need to build a mood board, they need to set up meetings, and so on and so forth, and it's only going to be a little bit, and then you're into it for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. And of course, no movie deal in the history of ever is made this way. This is not the way film deals work at all. So again, when somebody comes at you with something, and the key is, do they want you to put money into it? And if they want you to put a penny into it, just close your wallet and walk away, because it's not real.
They're very convincing. They're like, you want to invest in your future, and this is a little bit now, and think of the rewards that you'll be getting later. And they'll do that whole like hard sell thing, which makes you feel like, yeah, I've got to take this opportunity. Or you have this fear of missing out. Like, I may never get an opportunity like this again. And you kind of talk yourself into it. But yeah, beware the scammers who are asking you for money.
Yeah, let's be honest here. We as writers are more susceptible to this than someone who builds fences for a living or does some other kind of honest work, because we have our artistic creation, and writing is 99% rejection, and we pour our heart and soul into our work, and we all have this dream of seeing our work out there published, and you can walk into your local indie bookstore anywhere across the country, and there's your book, and it's online, and it's at Barnes & Noble, and it's in this public library, and this school is using your book in their reading program, and all over the world. We all have that dream.
And you see other people, whose books are being turned into movies, and you want that too. It's just that whole feeling of, I want that. And there are people out there who are going to take advantage of that, because we are ripe for the picking.
We are. We have a little target on our back that says, I'm a sensitive artist. Please come and just pick my pocket.
The sad thing is that it's not just people saying that they could turn your book into a movie. It's people who are pretending to be publishers are also doing that. It's big money. It's a big ripoff. There are, how many people?
800 authors?
800 authors, and the amount was like incredible.
$40 million.
$40 million. 800 authors, $40 million.
No, this is one company. This is one company posing as a publisher.
Right.
That took 800 writers for a total of $40 million.
Was Page Turner Press. And they've been arrested.
They're in jail.
But that doesn't mean that those, 800 people are going to get back their
life savings.
Yeah. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah, that's hard to believe when I read that. And this is recent. This recently happened. That almost 1,000 authors across the country were ripped off to the tune of over $40 million, which means there are probably dozens of other companies out there trying to do the same thing. So here's the thing to remember. These days, with the advent of the internet, more people are making money off of writers than they are off of writing. So again,
I think that bears repeating.
More people are making money off of writers than people are making money off of writing.
So don't be a victim to it. Do your due diligence. Stop the scammers.
Right. Really, the thing to do is just say no. Again, no one who's actually in legitimate publishing will ask for any money. I have never in my life, and neither has Wendelin, been asked for money by an agent or a publisher or a press person or an editor or anybody else. We're not talking about like legitimate freelance editors who have a real business and they're legit. We're talking about in the publishing side of things that says, I am a big publisher, and if you just give me $10,000, we can publish your book for you and sell you the dream. If you go in there and you know up front what you're paying for, that's a different story. You're paying for someone to basically produce a product for you. But if you think it's a legit publisher and they just need a little bit of money to get things going,
don't go there.
Don't go there. Just say no.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of Coffee with the Authors. We hope you'll come back. We hope you got something useful out of this. Remember, dream big, work hard, don't give up, don't fall for scammers.
And keep writing. Shut up! You're making fun of me already. We haven't even started and you're making fun of me.
I never stop.
That's right. It's a lifelong commitment.